Hi Team Titleist, Paul Dunne here to answer your questions. Let's see what you guys want to know. Gavin Moynihan asks, have I ever missed a putt? And the real question is, has he ever paid me for a putt that I've made to win a bet? Peter asks what age I was the first time I broke par. And I remember I was 13, I had a 15 footer on the 18th green in Graystones for par to shoot 1 under, and I made it and I gave it a big fist bump. So Owen asks, what's my guilty pleasure? And it's probably a bar of Dairy Milk and a few Taylor Swift songs. Josh asks, was there a specific moment in my career when I thought that professional golf could be a reality? And the answer is probably the Open in 2015, when I did well as an amateur. It was the second year I'd qualified, and the qualifiers for the Open or the Open were the only professional events I'd ever played. So qualifying 2 years in a row, and then the second year was very important that I made the cut and made a good showing for myself. And I think that's when I proved to myself that my game was good enough to compete at a professional level. So that was the moment for me. Seb asks, what's the last gig I went to? I think it was Picture This when they played in Donnybrook in Dublin. That was the last one I went to. Colin asks, what's it really like being on tour? The answer is you have to not hate airports and hotel rooms by yourself, because there's a lot of that. But outside of that, it's really fun. You know, you get to see a lot of different cities, a lot of new golf courses. Most importantly, we get to compete playing golf for a living. And obviously that's always been a dream of mine. And there's great friendships and camaraderie out on the European tour. So it's a little bit like a traveling circus, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Ludders asks, what's my favorite club in the bag and why? And it's definitely going to be my putter. This is my Scotty Cameron Golo S2. As you can see, it's a bit worn down. I've had it for 8 years now, and it hasn't done me wrong too many times, so definitely my favorite club in the bag. So Henry asks, what's my current setup in the bag? Obviously I have this Golo S2 putter that I previously said. Larry here is my Titleist TS3 driver, and I've got a TS3 3-wood 15 degree as well. Then I've got my U500 2-iron with a graphite shaft and 3-iron with a steel shaft. Then here I've got my 4-through pitching wedge in the 718 CB irons, and I've got my 52 degree SM8 F grind wedge, and I've got the raw finish 58 degree K grind that's shaved down around here to make it 6 degrees of bounce. And there's also a 62 degree that I take in and out of depending on the course, but I don't use it very often. So there you go, Henry. Okay, so Matt asked me what my favorite TV show is, and it's definitely Game of Thrones. Wish I could start it again, and I'm jealous of all those people that have never started it. Okay, so Jamie asked me what's the best shot I've hit as a pro, and for me, it was the second shot I hit into the 18th green in Morocco in 2017. I had to make a birdie to get into the playoff with Eduardo Molinari, and I was in the right rough. The ball was sitting down a little bit, and I was hitting a hybrid, and I had to turn around the tree a little bit, and I knew if I missed it right, it was very difficult up and down. And I hit this perfect little draw just around the tree, right up through the gap in the middle of the green to give myself an easy 4, and got into the playoff, and it didn't go my way, but that's the shot I'll always remember. Tommy asks, what were my thoughts going into the final round of the Open in 2015 in St Andrews? And outside of not wanting to hit it out of bounds on the first, it was honestly just get off to a good start. You know, I wanted to get under par early and feel like I was in contention for the day, but obviously that didn't go to plan, so hopefully next time. Alright, Jay asks, what's my best advice for a junior golfer? The most important thing is to compete. You know, chipping games, putting games with friends and competitors, anyone you can find, really. Just be as competitive as possible. And apart from that, hit it as hard as you can. You know, speed is something that's very difficult to learn later in life, and you'll get it as a kid, so just get out there and smash it as hard as you can. Okay, and Mark asks, what's my lowest round at Graystones? Graystones is obviously the course I grew up at. The lowest round I remember shooting there was 61, which is 8 under. But I haven't played there in so long. Hopefully I can beat that one day. I'd love to break 60 around there. That'll be a career goal for me. Okay, so Connor asked me what my favourite golf course in Ireland is, and it's definitely Baltray, otherwise known as County Louth. It's a course I've always just loved playing. I remember playing the East of Ireland there every June bank holiday weekend. The greens are always perfect, and the 7th hole there is my favourite hole in the country. Thanks Team Titleist for all the questions. I hope everyone's staying safe and inside during this difficult time, and I hope to see you guys out on the course soon.